Hey everybody, Flyersguy here, and I have an announcement regarding my YouTube series, Classic Flyers Theater with Flyersguy. And that announcement is there will be a 300th episode of Classic Flyers Theater, and that episode will be coming on July 24th at 5 p.m. It'll be premiering on my YouTube channel as I celebrate 300 episodes of Classic Flyers Theater. What I have planned is a surprise. If you want to find out about what it is, then you're going to have to wait until July 24th at 5 p.m. to see the premiere of the 300th episode of Classic Flyers Theater here on my YouTube channel. And the only place you can watch that is exclusively on the Flyersguy YouTube channel. So get ready to celebrate 300 episodes of Classic Flyers Theater on July 24th, on Thursday, July 24th at 5 p.m. That's July 24th at 5 p.m. My 300th episode will be making its premiere exclusively on the Flyersguy YouTube channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Flyersguy, and welcome to another episode of Throwback Flyersguy. I'm your host, Flyersguy, and in my last episode, I talked about my memories of 1999 and 2000. Now I want to talk about, in this episode, I want to talk about my memories of the year 2000 and 2001. My 2000 started out right after New Year's. I went back to school. Fast forward to February of 2000. I went to a Temple Owls basketball game. And then after that, in the month of March, we get ready for the month of March. And I think sometime in March, February, we did this whole Japanese themed project that we had to do, which was pretty cool. And then shortly after that, fast forward to the month of June, and I get out of school. It's my last day of school. And then we get ready for our vacation down the shore in July. Me and my family, we all went down the shore. And that year, my cousin Jay and his wife at the time, we went down the shore. And that's how you said we were all there. My sister, her kids were there. Her kids were there. Yeah, her kids were there. And I think my cousin Michael came over one day. And also, it was a pretty cool trip down the shore. I added some more Pokemon cards to my collection. Got some Digimon merchandise. And some Dragon Ball Z merchandise as well. I think we were down there for about, I think it might have been a 2-week vacation. We get into week 2, and I ended up getting really sick. I don't know what it was, but I got like a fever. or something. I got really sick when I was down the shore, and that really sucked. And while I wasn't feeling well, I rented some videos at the video store down the shore and watched a couple of old school WWF tapes. And they were pretty cool. I liked watching those. And then at the end of our vacation, we head home and we prepare for my. We get a word from the doctor that I will need a spinal fusion surgery. So we get through July, we go into August, and I'm just chilling. And I'm kind of worried about the whole thing. Then we get into September. Around September, I went to the doctors to get blood work for preparation for the surgery at the Children's Hospital. And then I remember the day, maybe a couple days before, I had to get my spinal fusion. I went to my cousin Michael's house and I hung out with my cousin Michael, my cousin Ryan and Sarah. We all just hung out that day. And then we got to the day before the spinal fusion surgery. And we got word that it would be easier to stay at the Marriott Hotel right across the street from Children's Hospital. We get there, and we get there, and before that, I ended up inheriting or getting a new cat from my sister-in-law, which was pretty cool. I named the cat Killer. I don't know why I named it that, and I was thinking naming him that, but that was his name. And then we get to the next day. The day before that, we stayed at the Marriott Hotel. And for dinner, I had a steak, and I think a baked potato. The steak was pretty good. It was a little crispy around the edges, but it was pretty good. We wake up the next morning, and we get ready. I get ready for my surgery. They take me into the operating room. They give me this medication, this anesthesia, and this stuff makes me laugh. It also makes you fall asleep. For some reason I was laughing because of the medication they gave me to make me fall asleep. I woke up after that, and I had to deal with a couple weeks of pain and nausea, and it was tough. It was tough to get through. I ended up going home one day. I ended up getting to go home. Because for a few days, I could not sleep. I was in a lot of pain. I just could not get comfortable. And then I remember a couple days I started getting a little better. And I was able to start eating again, which was pretty good. I was able to keep food down. And then we get into the month of, I think, October. And at the time, I wasn't able to go to school yet. So I had to have homebounds. And the teachers would come to the house to do their lessons at my house. And I would be there, and I would be doing my schoolwork at home. And then I got a really awesome surprise from my grandmom. She got me 2 games, Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Gold. I was so excited and so happy to play those games. Then we go into the month of October, and the day before Halloween, I was in a lot of pain in the morning in my chest. For some reason, my chest was hurting. and then I was alright for the rest of the day. I went out on Halloween that day. Before that, I was playing WWF WrestleMania 2000 that day. And then shortly after that, in the month of November, we celebrated Thanksgiving. And I gotta tell you, prior to all this, I want to go back to 2000. There's something I forgot to mention. My grandpa had passed away in 2000, and that was a very tough ordeal for me and my family. We really loved my grandpa. He was a great man. He was such a great guy, and I always remember the great times I shared with him. Now, fast forwarding to 2000, November of 2000 was my first Thanksgiving without my grandpa. And my grandmom came over to our house that year for Thanksgiving, and it was a pretty good Thanksgiving. I really enjoyed it. We go into December, Christmas of December, and that year we were getting ready for Christmas on Christmas Eve. I was at my house watching, I think, Sunday Night Heat or something. WWF Sunday Night Heat. And my cousin Michael and Ryan and my Uncle Gary come over. And Uncle Gary gives me my Christmas gift on Christmas Eve. I opened it up, and it is a Game Shark for the N64. A Game Shark where you can use cheat codes in N64 games. And it also came with a video. Me and my cousin watched the video. It was a very strange videotape, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny, but I thought it was really weird. But it was a fun tape to watch. Then I wake up on Christmas morning, and that day, for Christmas, I got 3 games for the Dreamcast. I got Shenmue, Jack Around Radio, and Royal Rumble. I also got a PlayStation game, and that game was SmackDown 2, Know Your Role for the PlayStation. Prior to this, on my birthday, on December 8th, I got WWF No Mercy. I got the WWF No Mercy strategy guide. And I also got a couple Pokemon toys. I got one of those electronic battle figures. I got like a war turtle. I also got an electronic Pokedex as well. And many other great gifts that year for my birthday. And then we go into Christmas of 2000. I already said that I got for Christmas. I got one N64 game I got was Pokemon. It was Hey You Pikachu. I also got many different Pokemon stuff as well. I can't, so much Pokemon stuff I can't really remember what it is. So that year we celebrated, we had Christmas dinner that year. We had ham, and I think we had potatoes, I think. We had mashed potatoes, I think, or ham and potato pancakes. I think it was. And then, after that, we celebrated the New Year with Uncle Paul on New Year's Day. I celebrated New Year's Eve with my Uncle Paul on New Year's Day. And it was fun. We had a great time. Had a couple of little hot dogs that day. And that year, 2000, I also got my George mask for Christmas as well. But I also rented that game prior to that, George mask. I wasn't really that good at it, but I tried my best at it. Then, like I said, we celebrated New Year's. And after we celebrated New Year's at my Uncle Paul's house, I went home and I watched Monday Night Raw. And then the day after New Year's, I went back to school. And I went back to school and hung out with my friends and talked about what we did over our Christmas break. And shortly after that, in January, around February, it was Valentine's Day, and we were giving out Valentine's Day cards. And at the time, I was really into the Shenmue game. I was playing the hell out of that game, and I got really far on it. And I don't know if it was in February or March, we got hit with a huge snowstorm. The night I was waiting, the night we got word that snow was on its way, I was at home. It was Thursday night, and I was watching SmackDown on UPN back then. It was on Thursdays. I also got into this new show called Gary and Mike, and I really enjoyed that show. A very funny claymation show. Around that year, I ended up getting really sick, either around January or March of 2000. And I just didn't feel good for a couple of days. The day I actually felt much better, I ate I think it was a Totino's pizza, or something like that. I forget what it was. And then shortly after that, we had, like I said, we had the snowstorm in February or March or whatever. And while we were getting hit with the storm, gave me some time to catch up on Shenmue. The next day, I watched some TV shows on ABC Family the day that I got off from school. And I eventually beat Shenmue that week. And that was pretty much it for Shenmue. If you remember, my mom had some sort of party or something. I don't know if it was a Tupperware party or something. And I had to go to my grandmom's house that day. And I was watching WCW Worldwide at her house. And right after that, that day that day we ended up getting Pizza Hut that day. And we all had pizza. Me and my cousins on my dad's side. And shortly after that, we went home. I was still hungry, so I ended up getting some KFC. For dinner. So it was pretty cool. I had a pretty good, day. And then around May of 2000, I got my very own copy of Pokemon Stadium 2. I'm not sure if either of them, it might have been my sister that got me the game. Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Stadium 2. In my last video, I discussed that it was my sister-in-law who got me the first Pokemon Stadium game. It was my sister that got me the second Pokemon. It was Pokemon Stadium 2. My sister got me that game in 2000. And Rio in 2001. This is 2001 now. And I got Pokemon Stadium 2. Played the hell out of that game. Really enjoyed it. I think either my sister or my mom got me that game. I don't really remember. But I had a lot of fun with it. And then after that, many months later, we go into the last day of school. And then we get into the month of July. We go down the shore. And we have a pretty good time. Down the shore the second week, I ended up hurting my ankle. I didn't break it, I just hurt it. It was hurting for a couple of days. Maybe a couple of days, a few weeks maybe. And I was able to get over it. And we actually had a pretty good time down the shore going to the boardwalk. And doing all kinds of fun things down the shore that year. I also remember my dad getting me Sonic Adventure 2 for the Dreamcast. Played the hell out of that game down the shore and also when I got home. After the vacation, we all went home in July, and a few days in July, I met a few new people. My sister's friends' kids came over. Jose and I think the other one's name was Bianca. And we were all playing with an RC car. We were all having a good time with it. We were all playing the Dreamcast as well. Then we get into the month of August, and at the time, the neighborhood of Shelmire, which I'm from, and Monty were all going through some kind of war between the two neighborhoods. And this lasted for a little while. It lasted. And after that, the war subsided into September. And then September, I got ready for my first year of high school. And during that first year, I was doing pretty well. And this was the year that the United States suffered one of its biggest attacks since Pearl Harbor. And that attack was September 11th. It's on September 11th. And that day was one of the scariest days of my life. My first year of high school. My first time experiencing something like that in my life. That day we had a half day of school that day. I still remember that day when all the classroom aides came in and told us that the World Trade Center had been attacked. I remember that day, and I remember how I felt that day. Shortly after that, it took all of us a few weeks to really get over what happened. It took a while, though. Going into September, I ended up hurting my ankle and my knee that year. And I was out. I was off from school for a few days. Eventually I felt better. And during my days off, I was able to catch up on the new season of Dragon Ball Z. And then we get into the month of October. Halloween comes around. And ironically, my bus breaks down on Halloween. And I didn't get home until like 7 o'clock that day, 6 o'clock that day. The night before, I remember having KFC for dinner. Then we go into the month of November, and we have Thanksgiving. And that was the year we had Thanksgiving at my house. I forget who was there that year, but it was a pretty good Thanksgiving. Then we go into December 8th on my birthday. And that year I got a Game Boy Advance. I got a Game Boy Advance for my birthday, and I got like 3 games. I got a Street Fighter Turbo, Revival, Mario Kart, WWF, WrestleMania 17 or whatever, all the WrestleMania games. And that was all the Game Boy Advance games that I got for my birthday. Then we fast forward. And that year, we fast forward to December of 2001. And for Christmas that year, I felt horrible. I felt really sick. But that year, I really wanted a PlayStation 2. And for Christmas, I got one. Even though I felt like crap that day, I was happy to get a PS2. The games I got from my PS2 were the SmackDown game, WWF SmackDown, Just Bring It, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, and Grand Theft Auto 3. I was pretty sick for a few weeks, but I was still able to play most of my games. I played a lot of SmackDown, and a lot of Grand Theft Auto, and I also played Metal Gear Solid as well. Also that year, for Christmas, I got a game called Snood. For the Game Boy Advance, I also got Super Mario Brothers Advance for the system as well. And I also got WWF Betrayal for the Game Boy Color. And I got over my sickness. And I was alright to go for New Year's. Went to my cousin's house for New Year's. We played some video games. Had a pretty good time. And that's about it for the year 2000 and 2001. In my next video, I will be talking about my memories of 2001 and 2002. I'll see you guys next time.